Guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. So today, we're going to cover my favorite rare combination in terms of two rare support champions who are honestly very easy to build that can support your teams in any single dungeon in the game. Now granted, both of these rare champions are void champions, so a little bit more difficult to get than your average rare champion, but still, you know, easier to get than an epic or legendary champion for the most part. So today we're going to go ahead and review one of these dudes is new. Let me just go ahead and take a look at how I built these champions out. One of these guys is new, and you guys know I am a huge fan. Originally, I was going to have a video just about Draconis today, kind of end game Draconis. I am a huge fan of this champion. What a great healer inside the game, guys. On his A1, he heals the ally with the lowest HP by 7.5% of the damage inflicted. The good news is, this ability actually puts out a decent amount of damage, so you're actually getting a pretty solid heal here on his A1. On Sacred Wards, his A2 placed a shield buff on all allies equal to 15% this champion's max HP for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Really nice to have a reliable 3-turn cooldown shield ability from a rare champion in the game. Draconis is really solid for support. And then Order of Mercy attacks one enemy, removes all debuffs from the ally with the lowest HP, and then heals them by 25% again of the damage inflicted. The good news is he does his damage based on HP as well, so you just stack up a ton of HP because that's also what his shield is based on. So nice kind of synergy between how we're building this champion and between his kit, his capabilities. So for masteries on this champion, I want a little bit of damage out of this dude, so we have War Master there. We also went with lasting gifts and all kind of the shield, the lay of hands, excuse me, the heals and the shield abilities here on the support tree. Other than that, obviously, guys, can go with what makes sense for you. I also have Lore of Steel on this champion and kind of the traditional, usual War Master tree on our Draconis. So let's go ahead and take a look at the artifacts I have on him. And again, I do have some good endgame artifacts on this champion, but again, like I told you guys, pretty easy champion to build, regardless of your artifacts. You don't need accuracy. Speed is good on this champion, but it's not required that he is the fastest champion. Usually you want your supports to be a little bit on the slower side. That way they can go last and get those heals, revivals, whatever they need. Obviously no revival in Draconis' kit. And then we have HP on the ring. We have HP on the amulet. And you guessed it, we have HP also on the banner. So just go HP, HP, HP as soon as you fully ascend this champion, and it's going to help you out tremendously. Look for HP percentage and defense in terms of substats as well. His defense, I should note, is you know, kind of low for a support champion. Not really low for a support rare at 925, but still for me, I'm prioritizing HP by a long shot with this champion. So again, you guys can already guess. We have crit rate on the gauntlets. We have HP on the chest, and then we have speed on the boots on this champion. So again here, I would advise you guys do the same crit rate, HP, and speed. Why not go HP on the gauntlets? Well, you can if you can get the HP, or excuse me, if you can get the crit rate on the substats from other artifacts. I didn't do that in this build today. I want to show you a more realistic build, so I just went with some crit rate because we do want him putting out damage because again, his A1 and his A3 is predicated on him actually doing a lot of damage, so we do need his crit rate to be at 100%. So that is how we have Draconis built out. His total stats here, a little bit shy, 94% on the crit rate, speed 189. Again, we don't care about accuracy. I'm okay with whatever on the resistance. Crit damage would be nice, but still I'm prioritizing HP at almost 80k, 75k HP on this champion. Alternatively, you could also put him in a shield set because you're building him with a ton of HP anyway. Provide even more utility. You have a shield ability and a shield set going into every single round. So that is your choice as well. Some people think it's redundant to build to put a shield artifact set on a shield champion. However, I really don't mind doing that myself. Anyway, let's go ahead to the other champion, Reliquary Tender. She is so amazing, man. She's fantastic. On Warden Staff, decrease attack, the weak version, whatever. Tender's Watch, though, man, 3-turn cooldown, removes all debuffs from all allies, and then plays the 15% continuous heal for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. It's a really great heal, and more importantly, the full debuff removal there on Tender's Watch. Call to Life is the revival with the 30% turn meter. Nice to have that as well. You put these two champions together, Draconis and Reliquary Tender, and you can support any team in any dungeon. Well, not any team. I mean, level 1 Kales is not going to get the job done, excuse me. But you can support any decent team with these being the only support champions in every dungeon. We're going to show that in today's video. I might cut some areas because some of these will be a little bit longer. I think Ice Golem is going to be around a 5-minute run. But anyway, in terms of, again, lasting gifts for masteries on my War Maiden, also went with Spirit Haste, Lord of Steel. We went with Evil Eye as well. And then, again, War Master on this champion to get some damage out of her as well off of her A1, which is attack based on Reliquary Tender. So artifacts on her, she is super easy to build because it doesn't matter if you have HP or defense. They both, scale pretty well on this champion for a rare. Again, I went HP, and I went speed. And again, here we have defense, and we have attack, just because it's a triple speed roll and some defense here. Actually, let's go ahead and try to put a good speed glyph on that, right? Let's try to get a 5. All right. It took us 2. Hate doing that. But man, 23 speed is going to really be great on this banner. Actually, you might end up using this on, forgive me guys, but 23 speed on that banner. What do I have my Arbiter in right now? That's going to be close, right? Okay. Man, we got the +6, so I used a 6-star glyph on this thing. So I could use it for 1 more speed, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that right now. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry, I digress. But again, with Reliquary Tender, we don't even care about building her with a ton of HP because she doesn't have an HP-based ability like Draconis does. So super easy to build. Don't even care about her putting out damage. Most of her damage is going to come from War Master anyway, looking at about, 400,000 damage total, give or take, just off of her War Master. So let's go ahead and show these champions off. I have 4 teams, excuse me, all set up for you guys today in this video. Let's start with Dragons 20. Talk briefly about the roles here. We have Apothecary in there basically for his aura. And again, guys, I mentioned this on yesterday's video too with Cold Heart and Royal Guard is... Listen, I could make this video take forever, or I could make this video much shorter, excuse me, and go with the OP teams around these champions, but because they're both rare champions, I decided to make the teams a little bit more realistic. When we get to, I believe, some of the teams will have some epic champions on them, but this one is nice and easy. Dragon's Lair to run 4 rare champions. Let me make myself a little bit smaller here. There we go. I was really big this video. Apologies. In yesterday's video, I'm okay, guys. I'm doing all right. I just had a lot of saturation on that video. A lot of people in the comments very concerned with my well-being. So this team, we have 2 poison dealers. One of the main poison dealer and our main damage dealer on this team is going to be Kale. And then we have War Maiden, who has the weak version of poison on her A1, but she's there to be our debuffer on the squad. And then we have, again, the support tandem of Reliquary Tender and Draconis. Also some help with the speed and spot heals from Apothecary in the team lead. This is going to be around I don't know, maybe around a 3 or 4 minute run or so with this all-rare team. And again, here, guys, I think that the caliber of gear, I should also mention on Reliquary Tender, I do have a Relentless set on her. Now, if you're lucky enough to have any Relentless gear, it's a good champion to put it on, right? Because, again, her taking extra turns are just going to decrease the cooldown of her revival, decrease the cooldown of her amazing debuff stripper, as well as the continuous heal. So, definitely a great champion to consider. And we just lost Kill there. No big deal. Reliquary Tender is going to pick him right back up, and we're good to go. If we lose another champion, again, no big deal because we have enough HP and defense on Reliquary Tender to make sure she's staying alive. That way she can revive whoever goes down. What I'm going to do, guys, is come to you at the very end of the dragon. I'm going to do the same thing on all the dungeons as I talk a little bit about the teams and about the champion roles on these teams so you guys can make substitutions if you're looking to do so. And then without, having to wait 3 minutes of just watching them, hammer away at the dragon and the other bosses, we're going to go ahead and cut in between for brevity. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so a bit faster than we thought there, only 3.5 minutes or so on this run. And again, a consistent team thanks to the shield, as you guys can see, of Draconis, and thanks to taking all those debuffs away from Reliquary Tender and that spot revival that we saw as well. So in terms of, total healing and output overall on this team, very, very solid. 144,000 from Draconis, 511,000 shows you how OP Reliquary Tender is, and then 75,000 from Apothecary. So it's noteworthy that Draconis had almost double the healage as well. So very, very cool to have this team together. Kale and War Maiden both put out basically the same amount of damage, which is really noteworthy for War Maiden. Maiden definitely goes to show how she is a nuker as well as a debuffer. Let's go ahead and move on to the next team here, guys. That's with all that poison damage too from Kale. I'm actually surprised that that War Maiden did put out that much damage. So this next team that we have assembled here, guys, is a Bellower. Bellower is in a stun artifact set. Not good gear, but a stun artifact set nonetheless. We have a Tyrell in the lead as a debuffer. Of course, the affinity matchup's not going to work out with War Maiden on this squad, so Stagnite fills in well there. If you're lucky enough to have any of the legendary debuffers, there's plenty of them. I'm not going to list them all off right now. And then, of course, we have that tandem. And Dark Elaine, who you guys know if you've been watching the channel for a while, is one of my favorite Ice Golem nukers out there. She's a very easy champion to access, excuse me. All you have to do is play the game long enough because she is a daily login reward champion. Really sweet champion for Ice Golem. I see her as an Ice Golem specialist. You can use her in the arena as well against Tormins or Freeze champions. But you can see that the reason I love her so much in this, you'll see once we get to the Ice Golem, but, you know, very reliable to be the only nuker really on this team. I don't have Bellower built out to be a nuker. I do think I have 100% crit rate on him. We're very close to, but no crit damage. Kind of the similar build that we have on Draconis in terms of a high crit rate and a low crit damage in that stun set as well. So really the only nuker on this squad is going to be Dark Elaine. Who again I'm a very big fan of. So here when we get to the Terror Beast and Ice Golem's 20, it can be challenging, right, because of the Shriek. But this team is nice because even if we lose somebody, again, not the end of the world. The idea here is for Bellower to, you know, do some heavy lifting here, as having SOD on the team too. Silver Drakes would be amazing, but I don't want to include her because I always include her in all my teams. I feel like it's kind of, you know, I don't know, kind of a meme at this point because she's easy to include in any team and be like, it's free to play friendly because she's a daily login reward champion. But either way, we lose Dark Elaine there, but again, no big deal. We'll pick her right back up with Reliquary Tender. Looks like we're going to lose Tyrell as well, maybe. Let's see. Yep, we do. But again, not the end of the world. We'll get back on our feet here. It will take us a while. As long as we don't lose another champion, we'll be good. And Draconis, that's where he comes in huge there with that shield, which is nice, right? We're only, what, 2 turns away, I think, from the next revival. Now make it 1 more turn. I think it's 2-turn cooldown on that. So once we get to the Ice Golem here, she'll go 1 more time. I think the revive will be up next. Let's see if I was counting correctly there. There it is. And as long as, ooh, Dark Elaine, can you stay alive? As long as she stays alive, and you can see, you saw, she died. But you saw the debuff removal there and the 25% heal. That was from Draconis. So really nice to have that on the team there. And again, it's going to take a little bit of a little while to kind of stabilize the team here in terms of getting Dark Elaine up. If I had a champion on this team, a champion with a shield set, that is, it would be easier because Dark Elaine would not have died there, right, as she just did. But it's okay. It would take us a minute or 2, but we do kill the minions. And the thing I like about this team, before I cut and bring you to the end, guys, is it is a consistent team. And it's not overpowered in terms of damage output, but again, as we always talk about on the channel, if you have an overpowered nuking team in Ice Golem, it becomes very challenging to keep those champions alive. This is slow and steady wins the race, which is nice and again, very reliable. So I will come back to you guys once we beat the Ice Golem. Be right back. Alright guys, things are wrapping up here. Again, around a 5-minute run here, but very consistent in this team, and that's again why I like them. I do want to give a quick shout to my clan. We do have a very rare 2 spots open right now, Elite Force Legends. We also have a couple sister clans as well. I'll include that information in the description below, but again, first come, first serve. We do have requirements. As I mentioned, we have I don't even like to call them feeder clans because it's not like that. They all run, excuse me, kind of independently and very successfully. But depending on what clan boss you're kind of hitting, Elite Force Legends, our clan right now, hits, well, we kill Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare every day. Also Brutal most of the time. So if you can hit Ultra Nightmare and, you know, around that level, then we'd love to have you on the team. A really, really good group of guys and gals here on the squad. So check out, again, Elite Force Legends. Let's go to Fire Knight next here, guys. And again, that team, I forgot to look at the stats, but you guys can rewind and take a look at the stats. I forgot to look at them. My bad. So again, that same tandem, we have Apothecary in the lead, we have Stag Knight as our debuffer, we have Coulthart on this squad, and again, it's going to be a very, very reliable and strong team here, because think about it, on the A1 of Apothecary, he's hitting 3 times, on the A1 of Coulthart, she's hitting 4 times. That's going to help get that shield down of the Fire Knight, and then once we knock it down, we'll have Coulthart with the Heartseeker ability, and just kind of any added War Master damage from, obviously, our support champions on this squad. So again, these, as you guys know, these first 2 waves in Fire Knight hit especially hard. They're very challenging to get through, but again, with these shields from Draconis, you can see how valuable that's been in our first 2 dungeons. We're gonna have no problem kind of getting to past these arrows and getting to the Fire Knight. So guys, I'll cut when we get to Fire Knight, or as soon as we approach him, and show kind of how that will work against the boss. Alright guys, here we are at the Fire Knight. Not too bad, 2 minutes and 45 seconds or so until we reached him. And again, here we get that shield down 1 time, not going to really do much. But over time, especially once we land the heal reduction, we will be good to go. And again, the most important thing here is we're keeping our team nice and healthy as well. So that decreased speed, as you guys can see, debuff from Stag Knight is going to help out a lot as well. And then we land that Heartseeker, full turn meter reduction. Heck, if you have a champion like Allure to add to this team instead of an Apothecary, would actually do really well. Or you could probably even get by without Draconis on this squad as well, if you want to sub in a turn meter kind of manipulator onto the squad as well. But you can see, right, it's starting to add up all this damage slowly but surely. Even Painkeeper does pretty well in this dungeon in terms of healage, as well as having the combat tactics, right, reducing the cooldown of Heartseeker. We don't really love to have that Heartseeker, as we just saw, land on the shield of the Fire Knight, but slowly but surely we will be able to finally chip that shield down and get some really solid damage against the Fire Knight here. Unfortunately, again, having that Heartseeker not go off when the shield is down is always just kind of it's just such a shame, you know, such a shame, if I can speak, right? So what is that? Is that reduction? It's a 50% heal reduction on Coulthart. Let's see. I think it was. Anyway, there we go. So 4-minute time. Not bad, right? Granted, we do have an epic on the squad, but all said and done here, again, look at the just the support of these champions. Reliquary and Draconis, definitely bring your attention to both of those champions. And again, putting out decent damage. Look at what Apothecary put out for damage. 67,000. That's because he doesn't have War Master, and all the other champions on this team do. So that's what you can see in terms of the differential of War Master versus no War Master. And a good comparison would be Reliquary Tender, because Draconis does have the 2 damage dealing abilities. Let's go ahead and get rid of this and go to Spiders, guys. Spiders is going to be the most lackluster team out of all these teams, meaning that you want to run one or the other, right? But I want to run them together for this video, but you really want to run one or the other of these champions, and I'm just going to make it quick and add someone who I know is a solid nuker. I don't have any accuracy on Trunda, so she's actually not going to be landing her stuns or her HP burn, because she has an arena build right now. So I'm just adding her to do a little bit extra damage, essentially. And again, you know, Lydia would be Stag Knight, and Trunda would be basically any damage dealer. But I know this team will be successful, and that's what I wanted to show you guys. But again, I repeat, in a perfect world, you can run either of these 2 champions, Reliquary Tender for the revival and to get all those poisons off of your Coulthart or your damage dealers, and Draconis for the shield, similar to kind of a miniature version of Miscreated Monster in terms of support. You really wouldn't be running both of these champions together on Spider 20 unless you have an OP team to kind of put them with. But to keep the theme, if you will, of the video the same, I decided to run them all together on this squad. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. If not, you know, I could run 2 separate Spider teams. Actually, we landed 1 HP burn, and that's all we need, baby, for trying to actually put some damage out. Let's see if we can get that to tick off again here. Although there is going to be a heal, right, coming up. Let's see if we can get that HP burn tick. Nothing better than that mass HP burn. But you guys saw right there, Reliquary Tender, right? Just strips everything away. We get a new, fresh shield as well, keeping everybody alive. Very, very nice, kind of well-rounded, well, not well-rounded team. I can't say that, right? I mean, we have freaking Lydia on the team, which again, I probably should have just subbed in Dracomorph, because I think we would have been just fine. Or not Dracomorph, Stag Knight rather, because I think we would have been just fine either way. But it is kind of nice that she's tanking for the team here, to be honest. Anyway, that was the first heal of the Spider. I'll come back when this one is over. You're not really missing much on this one. And guys, this one is almost over. We just saw a spot heal come in clutch to keep Lydia alive. She falls, unfortunately, but it's okay. We would be able to revive her, but I think we're going to kill the spider on this next shot from Trunda. Maybe not. Next one from Royal Guard, and no, maybe not. Next one from Reliquary Tender, no. But finally, Draconis seals the deal there, and see all that huge War Master proc on this champion too. So guys, there you have it. Again, I really highly recommend, if you're struggling in any area, I highly recommend investing in Reliquary Tender and Draconis. Both of these champions in their own right are fantastic. Hopefully you guys, if you're watching this video, you pulled one of these two champions at least, or you're just curious. But I think that both of these champions are worth investing in, because both of these champions honestly can not just serve use in the end game, but also actually be reliable support champions who you can depend upon in the end game of Raid Shadow Legends. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate the support, and as always, take care, guys.